Hello, guys. My name is Eugene Torrance here again. You've seen a lot of this young lady right here in some of our videos. As you all know, Dr. Robyn.
Dr. Robyn Richardson.
Yeah, I butcher her names quite a bit. So it's Eugene Torrance here with Performance and Wellness. We're here with another episode. We have another message that we're looking to deliver. And what we're talking about today? What's the game plan?
The message I wanted to talk to everyone about is I think there is a push towards like entrepreneurship and just being true to yourself and what you want to do.
Okay.
And so I just want to speak for a minute about people being reinforcing self-esteem and not letting naysayers get you down.
Okay.
Or try to push you down.
Okay, so where this come from then? What naysayers? What happened? What brought this epiphany? That's the right word that we're using.
Okay.
And to play here.
So I'm actually I try to stick with topics. When you ask me about a topic, it's usually something that I've gotten a lot of questions on in therapy and with people. It's like something that is a big deal with people right now. And so what people seem to be struggling with, or what has come to the forefront, is having people, even like family members, people that care about you, they want what's best for you. But in their mind, they may be like, hey, you shouldn't be feeling depressed. You shouldn't feel like you shouldn't do this. So why are you not doing this? Why are you not making this happen? And they think they're helping, but
they're not really.
But they're tearing you down.
But you remember, the whole system has been go to school, get a good education, and go get you a good old job. Go to school for 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, whatever. Go get you a good old job. Don't be an entrepreneur because it's not safe. Entrepreneurs don't, they lose. They have too much liability. Like I said, then when you don't need to do that, that's not going to provide for the family. So, what do you say to the entrepreneurs rule the planet? They're the ones, the majority of the small businesses out there that actually, reason why people have jobs. Small entrepreneurs start off small to corporations to conglomerates. So, what's it all about?
The recipe is not to be afraid of success.
Okay.
Not to be fearless. And I know that sounds very cliche, but you can't be afraid of pushing the envelope to find success, to get to that point where you need to. And you have to be able to ignore negativity.
Your mama and daddy? Your mama and daddy?
Hey, if mom and daddy are telling you, you know what, you shouldn't be doing this, you need to be going to that 9 to 5 because you need to get your 401k, you need to get your retirement, you need to.
That's mama and daddy, don't it?
And again, I'm not knocking that journey for people. I'm just saying it's not for everyone, that if it's in your mind, it's like, hey, my journey is taking me in a different place. My true self, the person that I really want. You have one life. Okay. You have one life to be happy in. Why should you do something that you don't want to do just because it's comfortable or because somebody else tells you to do it?
But so hold on, we have other cultures. You get to put on the culture, the parent. So you figure your mother and father makes a good living. They stay in a wealthy neighborhood. They're doing really well for themselves. So you say, hey, mom, dad, they got a tuition paid for you. They want you to go to Yale, Harvard, whatever school you want to go to, Morehouse. And they got the money set aside for you. They say, hey, we're looking for you to go to college. And you can say, mom, you know what, dad, I thought about this. I'm not going to go to college. I'm going to go out and start my own business. I'm going to do this, do that. So can you imagine the disappointment that you're going to have from your family members that invested money, time, and effort and sacrifice for you to tell them, no, this is my journey. I'm doing something different right here. So how do you speak to that when it comes to what you feel like you're entitled to have your own purpose being in life to move forward? So how you speak to that? And then success is the ideal of something in your mind. And then when you go through the process, which is overcome the circumstance to start the program, then you've actually passed the point of success. You're actually, you're in it to win it. So talk to that part then. So what do you say about that?
Okay, there's a lot of layers to what you said. The first layer, and one of the most powerful layers, is that there is also a cultural component.
Yes, it is.
Some cultures are very, I mean, it is almost sacrilegious to go against what the family has, you know, that path that the family has staked out. Where, you know, you're supposed to become a doctor or whatever that case may be. Now that might be more difficult to stray away from now again, but I'm still saying that whether there is that huge cultural component or it's just somebody that's a naysayer saying, well, you can't do that, I still say it comes back to the core of the person. You have to be strong enough to say, you know what, this is, my journey is different from what everyone else has described or has laid out for me. And again, it could just be that they both line up, but if they don't, you can have the you have to decide if you have the strength.
You're right. So are you willing to reevaluate your relationship with whoever you're around, family members, uncles, aunties, friends, girlfriends, baby mamas, what have you? You have to, you trying to say that it's necessary to reevaluate. When you get to the point where you're venturing off to do what you want to do and you're at this pivotal in your life, so are you suggesting reevaluate who you are, who in your space, who's coming with you, who's not going with you? Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily, because actually you should not have to reevaluate yourself. Actually, what I'm saying is to hold on tight to who you are and who it is that you want to be.
Okay.
Be that change that you want to be, no matter where other people are trying to veer you off in a different direction.
So that's what I'm saying. Well, so if you have people that are in your circle supporting you, that are on your team, bandwagon.
Okay.
So basically, if they're in going the direction you're going, then they're part of they're part of your progress, your levitation. You're leviting at the next level.
That's what you want.
Okay, but what if those people are not? So you have to reevaluate whether you mean what you mean to my relationship.
I don't think that it should shake the core of the relationship. Now, it can in some cases.
Okay.
Okay. But we know that the ultimate or the optimal positive result would be that they support you.
Yeah,
but again, the whole point and the essence of what we're saying is be true to who you are and what you want to do and what you want to be. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's a comfortable space.
No, it isn't.
And that it maybe will not create conflict in your space with your family, with your friends, with your baby mama, or whoever that you feel that a lot of times we unconsciously feel like that there are people that we have to have acceptance with, that we have to please. And so sometimes you have to decide if you're going to go against that grain. Now, there are outcomes to doing it each way.
Okay.
Now, you can stay in that comfortable space where you're doing what everybody or what that person wants you to do, but are you ever going to feel fulfilled? Is that itch ever going to be scratched? Are you always going to be thinking, you know what, if I would have just done this, if I would have just took that opportunity, then so you have to be okay with whatever the outcome is, the long-term outcome. I'm a big advocate of no regrets. So that drives me.
But it has to do with your mental health issues. Mental health is one point, because if you are participating with the naysayers of people saying you can and can't do, that means you're not a leader, and your mental aspect is not going to allow you to do what you're trying to or being told or just instructed to do. For example, they have motivational speakers. I'm not going to say any names. Okay. That promote certain ways of thinking and saying things and taking control of things and doing it. You know, and you're scary, you're sorry, this or that. But that doesn't make somebody able to do that. It's like going to church. You hear the sermon, you know you're gonna get saved, you know you're going to hell, you know this and that. You go home next day, you're back doing what you were doing. So it's the whole point. What you're saying is the same thing as going to church. It's the same exact thing. You know, I'm gonna go. You get that good feeling, mama. You're gonna do the blase, and guess what? You end up steering to direction. It's like faking it. You're in disbelief mentally that you can do something because you've been convinced or told you to do something, but theoretically in your mind you cannot do it. It's fooling. That's fooling yourself.
But again, that's what I'm trying to get people to understand is that's what separates. Look, everybody is not meant to go against the grain.
No, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur.
Well, that's just another way of saying it. I mean, doesn't the essence or the recipe of an entrepreneur is going against the grain, right?
Yes.
I'm not going in.
But a lot of people are entrepreneurs.
Punching my punch clock, okay? Telling the boss, hey, I'm here on time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But all that means that
I want an employee of the month.
But listen, all that means is that you are accountable to yourself. Now, the difference between an entrepreneur or a CEO of a corporation, something totally different. You're responsible for others outside of yourself. When you're an entrepreneur, you are your own self-employee. You're your own employee. Who you gonna ask to? Yourself. So the growth is not there. You just make decisions to work for yourself. That's basically all it means.
But it's still different. It's different.
That you able to get it.
So me going to punch the clock.
It's the same as you punch your own clock.
Okay,
Same.
But it's different when I'm putting the money in my pocket though, than when I'm giving part of it. Or if I'm gonna work for $14.50 an hour for a corporation, that's different than me working for myself and I get to put 100% of that. Feels a lot better to punch that clock.
But guess what? You're correct. But guess what? You gotta give 30 to 40% of it back to the government, to the government. So tell me how that is.
Not if I have a good CPA.
Okay, I bet you do. You gotta have a real good CPA for that to happen. but like I said, what you're saying in theory is good, but there's more than just being an entrepreneur. That's more than just being driven to stay in tune with what your goals are. There's other aspects that you need to come along with that, and you got to be prepared to do it. But not a lot of people are ready to do all that. How many entrepreneurs out there in the world? That's a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, and how many of them? Man, I'm still trying to get
it's probably less than 20% that actually become successful. I just think that it's the false perception that it's easy. I'm not even saying easy. Maybe that people don't understand the series of obstacles and are not prepared. It's almost like being in boot camp and then you get in there, and unlike, I'm just going to say with boot camp, I guess you technically can't walk off. In the boot camp of entrepreneurship, things get too tight. You can just, wave the red flag and be like, okay, I'm done. I'm out of this. I'm going back to my 9 to 5.
And that's why they need to have programs, networking events, programs that have to put together, because there's a difference between an entrepreneur, there's a difference between somebody owning a business, there's a difference between those two. There's a difference between you being a CEO that's hired on, or you are the founder and CEO of the company. There's different pieces to it that you have to actually take accountability for and be able mentally to move in that position. And not everybody's in that position to do that. Not everybody's not. Maybe 1% is. And there are the people that say they are, I have my own business. Yeah, you have your own 9 to 5 that you pay for every day.
I just realized that is not what that means. That having a business and being an entrepreneur and having a successful business, that can be so far off from what reality really looks like.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. So, having a business, example, 7-Eleven. I got a 7-Eleven. That's my business. I earn income from it. I pay my royalties, whatever going on. But it's my business. So that means I'm paying 7-Eleven for their...
You just franchise.
It's your business, yeah. So how many hours there every day?
Probably about 16.
But probably more than that all year round, because all day long, because 24 hours. So guess what? You working in your business every single day. You are your business. So what separates you from your business?
It doesn't. But what you miss the point is, if that's where your passion lies, if that's what makes you happy,
What makes you mean?
You can't buy what makes if somebody is happy being a owner of a 7-Eleven and being there 16, 17 hours a day, and
Yeah,
they are
but
happy,
it's their business.
it is their business, and if that's what makes them happy, well, then God love them.
Okay, those are considered entrepreneurs and business owners.
Yes,
yeah, I
they
got you.
are.
Okay.
Much respect to them.
I got you. Praise the Lord.
I mean, I can't work 18 hours a day, but
yes,
hey,
but you eating. You get to buy that car, that Maserati you want. You get the jewelry. You buy the Porsche you want to drive. It's put up in your driveway at 7-Eleven. You what you do? You don't thing. You got every clothes, outfit, Birkin bag that's out there in the planet.
I mean,
You got it.
Look, girls have needs, okay?
Hey, but guess what? Do you need it, or do you think you need it? It's like doing a diet.
Look,
It's like doing a
girls
diet.
have no, it is not.
You think your diet
Eating
says
is sustenance.
your diet says you need to eat this way to be this way.
But everybody doesn't. But everybody shouldn't look. This is going off. This is going off topic. So hold on. This is for the ladies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, we get to where we want to look a certain way. Looking your outward appearance or the way you carry yourself can also help with your self-esteem.
But it starts with your brain.
It starts with
your mind first.
It starts with your mind.
And knowing you worth it, and you good whether it looks the way it's or not.
But
identifying.
Yes.
Okay. So, and it goes back to.
But it also has to be that you have to be okay that whatever that image of you is, whatever that image of you that you want to portray, that you're comfortable with that.
And that's true.
Because there's going to be naysayers about that as well.
And that's true. And that goes back to entrepreneurship. So it's drawing back to what you're saying. Don't be afraid to do what you need to do and be able to, but like I said, it goes back, there's many layers in moving yourself to the direction you want to go to, period, at the end of the day. But those layers are being taken for granted because there are steps to the process. If you at 1 and you struggling at 1 or 2, how much makes you think you can get to 5 or 6? And what makes you think you're ready to survive? How you taking a loan? How you support? That's a lot more to it than that. Not just, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm open a business, I'm gonna do this and that, and that's it.
Look, it takes determination.
Yeah.
I was a single mother. I had 5 kids. I drove to California and got my PhD. Who does that? So anybody I would have came to, anybody that I would have came to and said I was going to do that, they'd be like, baby, that's real sweet, but that's a harebrained idea. That's not logical for you to do that.
But okay, I got you. And that would make sense that somebody would think the way. But if you have a passion, a dream, and a focus where you're trying to go to, no matter what they say, you still should be able to follow through with what you want. Because in fact, it's your decision.
So that's the essence of what we're talking about.
And that's true.
Is filtering
you
out
have
the
a picture.
negativity.
You have a picture. You have a plan in place.
Yeah, you have a plan.
Yeah.
And then if you have that plan and you know that that's what you want to do, you don't need to let anything or anybody deviate you from that plan.
And that's true. Now you can talk about it. I talk about it.
I talk about it all day.
Oh, okay, that's fine. But as long as you follow through, that's all I mean.
Follow through.
Conversation beats, what's the word? Conversation beats,
action. Speak
actually
louder
than words.
Than words. I mean,
Is conversation be expectations?
Expectations.
I heard
there has to be a follow through. There has to be action.
Yeah.
So I have sat down with so many people who have said, "Oh, I want to start, but I'm scared. What if I fail?" Okay.
Don't do it.
No, that's not what I said. I said, okay. So what if you do fail? But how are you gonna know if you don't make that step? How do you know if you don't actually move in that direction and see if you can get there?
Okay, but that's a good point. But why
are you good with not knowing?
Okay, but that's a good point. But it's like asking somebody, if they have apprehensions in the beginning, why would you steer them to the right direction? Because then they don't make it. Well, I know I shouldn't listen to this person. I know I wasn't meant to. People, if they got to ask you about something, not mentally ready to do it, it'll be done.
Apprehensions, being scared, that is a natural part of who unless they're like a trust fund kid who is starting out with $2 million. Well, look, I don't mind saying I was very I was scared. I was scared of going into business for myself at first. I had a fear of failure. But you know what?
But okay, fifth. Okay, that means
Okay, can somebody understand what I'm saying here?
you know, I'm gonna tell you something. When I started my stuff off, been in business for a long time. Been in business for what? Since 2003.
Okay, well, I haven't been in business that long.
I've been in business since
I've been a 9 to 5er before I got my degree, before I got my master's and my PhD. I'm a 9 to 5er.
I don't know how to go start. I don't know how to go get a job. I know how to start a business to grow it to a
But I'm
company
talking about the
aspect
people
of it.
that don't know how to do that. I mean,
But
for you,
that's
that's something that's comfortable.
But that's a mental. It's mental. It's all mental.
But I don't know that you really understand then what that feels like to
And
jump off that cliff for the first time.
You're correct.
It's a different feeling.
But that means it's not for everybody. That means
No.
don't get in the ring with a lion if you just a puma.
Means.
It's like a little puma.
That means that you have the ability to learn, that you still have the ability to pursue your goals. And if you have the encouragement and you have you are empowered, you feel empowered, and you know that this is something that you want to follow through to the end, and you have that mindset, it doesn't matter whether you have experience or not doing that.
That is true. That is true. Yeah, I would recommend doing it. Seriously. What do you second guess the opportunity for that you feel is right for you? You understand your journey, you know what you're working in. I would recommend going for it yourself. But if you have any doubts, you need to find something else to do. Entrepreneurs, there's not room for doubtship. Doubting.
That's I don't know. That's a statement of absolute. So I don't know that I can agree with that.
Yeah, doubt.
Because doubt is always going to be there, but you just have to.
Doubting means you don't have confidence what you got going on.
Okay, but you're using that as an absolute. It's not an absolute. There's always going to be some doubt there.
Okay,
because life is uncertain. I don't know if I'm going to walk outside and not get hit by a car. I don't think I will, but there is no certainty there.
But I am. I'm chosen. Yeah.
Well, we're not all that lucky, so.
I'm chosen. But anyway, but your point making, I do understand your point. But it does make a lot of sense. And like I said, it depends on the mindset of the person. That's correct. My thinking. Because you want to persuade somebody to be an entrepreneur and they don't have the capability of doing it, and they're struggling with it, they're regretful, they're not making good decisions, they're not seeking education. Not everybody meant to do it. Some people meant to be 9 to 5er, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
that. It's just it's a different type of stress, mental anguish, doubtfulness. That's true. Regret. It's a lot of stuff goes in your head when you started putting yourself in a situation where you're responsible for things other than yourself.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, so it's a lot to deal with. So that's why I said it's not meant for everybody, but it's meant for those who choose it and understand what it is and are willing to look forward to with this, then moving on past it, like you said, is reinventing yourself or looking past the direction you're trying to go to and making a difference in your life. It's just, like I said today, if you're pursuing entrepreneurship, you need to have someone that you can communicate with on a daily basis, your thoughts.
If you can have a mentor, that would be great.
Yeah, mentor would be fantastic.
It's not.
No, it's needed. No, it's necessary. It's necessary.
I didn't have a mentor, but I do agree with that. If you can find a mentor, if you can find somebody that can just even pour positivity in you. I'm not saying that they've got to have all of the
help you with
answers.
Some directions.
Yes, help you with some direction, but I even think even more important than that is the encouragement. Is the encouragement that you can do it. You don't have to have the map. You don't have to have the map on how to get from A to Z right.
But why do you feel like you need to be encouraged to do something you want to do?
I'm just saying you just.
But when we're not children, like, oh, come on, baby.
I'm not saying you have to have a cheerleader. I'm just saying you need to have somebody there that knows how to be encouraging, because everybody doesn't know how to do that. Even the ones that are close in your circle can tear you down, even though that's not their. That's not their goal.
Okay, but why do you need encouragement? You can just do it without encouragement. It's like doing something great for a community. Hey, I fed 50 people a day. So why do you need to be encouraged or pat on the back just for feeding 50 people?
Well then
you get where I'm coming from?
Well then let me tweak that. You always need to be mindful of your well-being.
Okay. So let the back
that you're in balance.
I got you.
Now, so I don't know. Maybe I need to kind of numb that down and not, because I don't want it to look like you need a cheerleader there to help you.
Yeah, a lot of people out there don't have cheerleaders.
That's not what I'm
They
saying.
had to grind in every single day.
I'm just saying, just have somebody that is, know what you need in the moment. Keep yourself in balance.
I got you.
Don't let something get too overwhelming. Don't get caught up in the small details. Just always be able to get back and set yourself back in an acceptable balance, in an equilibrium.
Okay, so sum up what you're saying. I'm thinking you need a mental wellness coach that can actually help you in the way of forward thinking, progressing, how to do problem solving, skills, solutions. That's something that you don't get through someone that's mentoring you. You have to catch them at where they're at, which is where they're at mentally. You have to have a conversation with somebody that's that has the capability to understand what you want to do mentally, and then listen to you, project your ideas. How do you address these? How do you get past this obstacle? How do you get past this obstacle? And that's what the mental health issue comes in play in a situation to help you be able to sustain losses, know how to pivot, move forward, growth, scale, ability. That comes into mental play, and that's where mentorship comes to a point. But you need another step past it. You need somebody mentally is able to help you move forward next direction. Another example, the movie Billions, TV show Billions.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so you notice on his staff, he has a psychologist there.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have a mental coach. He has a psychologist there.
Mm-hmm.
So the psychologist is able to help him rectify his mind, his thoughts, whether they're relevant or not, to help him move forward next direction. And that's how in the TV show he's able to scale, move, take over companies, and make big decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So without a mental wellness coach in your space, you kind of you add a point, and you're taking, you're making you're stuck in the sense of where that guidance is not there and your thoughts are not being represented. Mm-hmm. On the show, he talked to the lady. He gives her what he needs to have. She needs to have. She gives her opinion with a question. He answers, solves his own deal. She's not validating him, but she's hearing his point, and she says whether it's relevant or not, it's doable. And guess what happens? You run with it, and that's how the show basically ran. That's why the show still runs now. Okay. I'm not promoting Billions. I wish I was a representation of Billions, but I love the show. But they make relevant points. There's savages on the show that I love it, but it's what it is. So that shows past entrepreneurship. That show is building its corporation, takeover. It's all kind of stuff that goes on the show.
It's also Hollywood.
And it's Hollywood, but no, it's actuality. A lot of companies, they have psychiatrists that on staff that actually consult with certain powers to be within the corporation to kind of help make decisions moving forward with humane reasons when it comes to dealing with people, decisions, ongoing, whatever. Even basketball athletes have psychologists they deal with on a regular basis.
Oh yeah.
So that's business. They making business moves. They come into millions of dollars a year. They got to know how to deal with that situation, and that's a part of mentorship, growth, coaching, psychology, mental health. All that plays in that area, what you're speaking of. But it's on a higher level. It's even greater.
But what we're talking about is just like someone like you and me, like when I started from ground zero, there's no sensation of Billions or that I'm a CEO and I can have like a psychologist that I can pay $300, $450 an hour. We're talking about somebody who is starting, maybe doesn't have the capital, just has this idea they're passionate about, and they don't want to feel like that it's this just astronomical project, something that they can't do. We want them to feel like that, yes, this is something that you can do, that you can accomplish, that you can move forward, because it's a step by step progression.
Day by day.
Yeah, okay. That's what it is. Oprah didn't wake up and become a multimillionaire. Elon Musk did not wake up and become a millionaire.
No, it didn't.
Okay, We just don't see those beginnings. Now we see them while they're in all of their glitz and glamour.
And back then they were running, bumping, doing everything they can to get themselves the best position in. They're called networking, troubleshooting, mental health.
I really wish
they were doing a lot of different stuff.
I know, but this part I do want to say. I really wish that we put more emphasis on successful people and really hearing their stories, really dissecting their stories before they were successful.
But the stories of struggle,
but we don't
not
hear
having.
About that.
But that's where the power come from. Elon Musk, same thing. All these people come from struggle. They come from bad situations. But the only thing we see is that this is all the glitz and glamour right now. That's sensationalism. Yeah. That's what the media sees. So everybody wants to. Oh yeah, I want to be that way. I want to be successful. I want to be like Jeff Bezos. I bet Jeff Bezos. Oh yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Well,
you get the man name.
Tomato. You say tomato.
Jeff Bezos. You get the man name. He's assassinating him cool.
I think he'll be all right.
I don't know. Hey, Jeff Bezos. I didn't say it. I said it right.
Hey, I buy from Amazon, so I think
Jeff
he'll be all right.
What? Oh, okay. Oh, assassinator over here. Killing people's names. But yeah. But the point was relevant, and it's right, and I understand. But you gotta be realistic people that you give the information to, that you can't hype somebody up to do something they don't have the capability of doing it. You don't. That's abuse. You can't do that. That's not right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, but I got you. But what you just said is, and quote me wrong, is that people need to veer the naysayers and do what they want to do to keep themselves moving forward in their life. But also that can be an illusion as well.
But unless you have a crystal ball, now maybe you have one, but I don't. But unless
I think I do. It's called an 8-ball. Oh yeah. And when you shake and you do this, can I do this right here? Yeah.
Try again.
There you go. You got the answer.
Another question.
I got my answer. Yeah. Oh, you should do this. You are in line to do this. I got my own. What's the crown of thorns?
Crown of.
I mean,
what's it called? I can't think of it.
I think Crown of Thorns.
No, it's not Crown of Thorns. It's
what is the TV show name? You know
Ring of Thorns.
Whatever.
Crown of Thorns, Fire of Thorns.
Whatever.
Anyway, we both butchered the names. So.
They got a majestic person there that they talk to, and they tell them what's going on, like on 300. Before 300.
Like 300. I was just thinking that.
Before the Oracle.
The lady, the Oracle.
Oracle. He went to talk to the Oracle before he went to battle with the people.
Yeah, but
and they told him no, don't do it.
That was their religion. That was like some type of
sacred,
pious representation of something that
it was crazy, but it does
not exist.
But that's the same thing what you're saying in the sense of
what are you talking about? Magical thinking?
Yeah, magical thinking. How do you know? You tell somebody to go and do this.
No, that's not magical thinking. What I'm saying,
it's unrealistic.
I use the crystal ball as a representation of saying that
we do
not see in the. Look. Let's throw the crystal ball out. Okay? That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the 8-ball.
And 8-ball. We throwing out all of those things. Okay, we're not talking about magical thinking. All I'm talking about is
forward thinking.
Forward thinking.
Okay.
If it's something you want to do, just take the steps.
Just
take the steps and then do it.
And get some mental health evaluation before you even try to put yourself in a position. Because you stress yourself out. There's no people killing. Entrepreneurs kill themselves all the time. Yeah, boom. I got it. Oh.
Okay, I'm.
But they do because it's stress.
Well, look.
Overwhelmingness. I didn't know it was gonna be this much. I'm losing my house and my car.
I'm gonna say people are stronger than what you think you are, and the way you can define your strength and know your strength is to get out there. Because what do you hear a lot of people saying? Well, dang, I didn't know I was strong enough to do that. I didn't know that I could get through that. And it just changes their whole worldview.
But guess what? When you find out your history as being, a certain type of person, guess what happens? You just find out that your culture is meant to do great things. And maybe help you put you in different situations.
Well, then you wouldn't have known if you hadn't taken that first step, right?
Hey, you know what? Kanye West is everybody's friend.
I'm not even gonna go there.
the man speaks the truth.
Ooh.
I love you. Kanye West, tag him in the deal. I'm telling you something.
That's where I.
Okay, what's it?
I do not endorse that.
Kanye West, the man. But anyway, but I do get what you're saying. Your point is taken. It's relevant. So, but like I said, I still believe that there's aspects and components to the 5 steps of your personal success and journey. But you need to be realistic and have someone you talk to. They're gonna help you, guide you in that direction that you're looking at going, because you can spare yourself some anguish, disappointment, depression, stress, Xanax pills. You're popping left and right, that you're not sleeping at night, drinking, doing all kind of things you need to be doing. So, just talk to someone that's actually relevant and really helpful to move you forward. Now, it's not the end all. Yeah, it's not a cure all, end all, be all, whatever. But it's just at least you have options to understand what's going to go into this, especially if somebody has experience with entrepreneurship and how it takes to take to the next level. That's relevant information.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's something you need to take in consideration to move yourself forward. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but that's to the point you got to make a decision.
I agree.
What information you need to receive and push out.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the nice thing. I think that kind of in the end we kind of push through and then we end up kind of agreeing.
Yeah. So other than that, that's basically what it is. So just try to be optimistic and stay persistent with who you are, and stay within your journey and know your purpose and what you have to offer humanity, and give of yourself to help others.
And push towards that.
Yeah. So, and that makes a huge, huge difference. So, with that said, we're going to give last remarks to Dr. Robyn.
Yeah, I just want to say, feel empowered. If it's something you want to do, go out and do it. The hardest thing to do is take that first step. And then that's when you keep going. Keep going. Okay.
So, if anybody's looking for you, what are you doing now, services-wise? How can they find you?
We are at Brighter Paths Wellness and Counseling at 4888 Dexter Drive in Plano. We have wonderful psychologists, therapists on staff that are there to do everything from mental health, wellness. We even have a young lady who is coming in that does vitamin IVs.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Yeah, so we're doing a lot of great things. Okay, so website is brighterpathsllc.com. So come visit us.
Okay, and I do appreciate your time again. You're one of our favorite, psychologists to talk to. Because like I said, you in the game, you've been in the game for a long time.
Thank you.
If we have any question about anything, we're gonna come to you. So far, you've been here what 3 times or so? I think so, 3 or 4 times. So she has some relevant to say, so it makes a big difference for us. It also too give you guys an in on type of stuff that may be beneficial to you, or take what you need to take and leave what you need to leave. If it's not for you, share with somebody else. So we want y'all to please follow the station, the channel. It's Performance in Wellness. It's support us. We're basically here to give you information, keep you in the loop, whatever's going on, and offer you our opinion. This is from a professional standpoint. I am actually a therapist as well, but I do it on mine on a physical type of aspect. She's more of mental aspect, So we're here for your entertainment, but to offer you a different perspective and our point of view. So stay tuned for more videos from Performance and Wellness. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.